Hello everybody, North Dakota Car Guy here, and today I show you how to install a full carbon fiber spoiler. So stay tuned. Alright, so once you've gotten your old spoiler off, now we can take a look at the kit we got here. This is a normal eBay kit. I believe this is a 51-inch normal spoiler, if I want to call it normal. But this is a full carbon fiber spoiler. It definitely feels pretty light. This weighs about, I want to say, 20 more pounds lighter than the original one. And with the kit, it originally comes with these two giant brackets, but the distance from here to here is so far that I have to cut holes originally. Now normally you would have to do cutting. However, in my car, I already have two holes on the sides right where I want them. However, you can tell originally in the spoiler they're kind of slanted this way. So the next step in installing the spoiler is figuring out where we're going to mount this. So I'm going to go ahead and take these two brackets. Now this is a kit I got on Amazon, which basically is just a smaller mount. Or just a smaller winglet or whatever. Smaller spoiler mount. So I want to try to make these work because these are way too tall. Plus, the reason why these can be so cheap to get, the main cost is the spoiler with the carbon. And then everything else was pretty cheap, like including these little pieces and stuff. And then you end up bringing the wing like another, what? Another an inch higher or so. That's just not an option. So I want to try and make this as sleek as possible with using pre-made mounts already. So basically we have these big thick mounts right here that I want to use for the bottoms of these because these are really skinny. I don't want to use those. So we're going to try to make these big ones work for the bottom of this, and then these small ones work for the top where we can mount the wing. Because originally these wings have mounts that are located towards kind of the middle part of the wing, and I don't really like that look. Although maybe a little bit better for aerodynamics, I want it to look cool because aesthetics, bro. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna take these, we're gonna map them on the car and figure out if we need to make anything bigger or, you know, cut new holes. I'm trying to avoid cutting in here to make this a really easy install because normally some cars already have holes for the wing. I want to try to figure out an easy way to do this. So that said, let's go ahead and take these mounts and put them on the car. Alright, so for this first step, what I want to do is I want to try to get this to be as straight as possible. So what I'm going to do is take this tape and go to about where I think the car looks straight. I want to put that on the outside of the bolt as far as I will go. Just kind of line that up. Then I'm going to cut this, and then what I'm going to do is try to do the same thing on the other side. Try to do the same thing on the other side, and then we'll try to see, take a tape measure and see how straight this line is. So now what I'm doing is I'm measuring it by width. So I basically took this, put it on here, maximize the length on each side so that it's equal. And then when alright, so now the next quest is to see if we don't have to cut any holes in. So what I want to try to do is I want to try and figure out if we can get these holes to actually work. Alright, so this is the setup that I'm going to go for now. Now, some people may not advise doing this, but I personally feel like this would be okay because this is not a high downforce wing that is going to be severely pushing the car down. It will be a bit, but not to extent. So basically I've got 2 brackets on either side of here. And then what this does is it helps shove this mount here all the way this way. So I can actually still drill into this hole located right here. However, drilling will be required for this one. What I've done is I've moved the hole that goes in here back. So normally the hole would be located right under here, and this is good because this is going to help keep that water seal so I don't have to like cover that up with body sealing and paint it and everything. It'll just naturally seal. So if somebody still wants to put that wing on, the new hole and the previous hole will still be continuously covered, whatever you want, which is nice. Gives you some customization. So then basically with this side, I'm going to be adding some washers on here. This side is the more side I'm worried about being weak because there's a lot of area to be going around in here. So what I think I might do is just add some washers into there. But I feel like this is a pretty good setup because what I've done now is because I've switched the 2 inward, I'm still able to somewhat adjust this mount. And I also have washers to go up on here. So these guys here, the original mounts for this, which are supposed to be located down here, are going to be located up here, like so, without the bolts going through and making it higher. So with that setup, basically we can put washers in here as we screw this on, and that'll also help tilt the wing up and down. So with that said, I'm going to go ahead and duplicate the same thing on this side, and then I'll get right back to you guys. Alright, so now what I've done is I've lined up where I want the holes to be, and this is basically going in line with the tape, and then in line going width here. So I basically measured the width here, and then measured the length from here to here on both sides, reversed it so they are both equal. So basically this side and that side are exactly opposite, if I want to say. Mirrored would be a better term. They're perfectly mirrored on each side. The biggest thing right now is the angle of this wing, and so, but that can be adjusted by adding washers onto here. So I'm going to go ahead and drill a hole for right here and a hole for in here. So pray that this doesn't get screwed up because I don't feel like fixing it. Alright, so now that we got both the mounts done onto the car, these are securely mounted. I can like move the whole car if I want to. But now these are properly aligned and mounted to go straight. All we need to do left is try on the wing, and then we need to measure wing from side to side, figure out middle, and then we can start getting ready to cut for our 2 holes and make custom brackets to fit through the top. I'm excited for this. Alright, so now that the holes have been drilled, what we need to do now is we need to get what's called a Christmas, or the tool is called a Christmas tree, but what we're going to do is create a little dip into here so that this fits nice and flush. Alright, so here's our piece. Go ahead and test fit it onto the car. Alright, so sorry for the change of aspect ratio and width. I'm now using my phone because my GoPro ran out of space and I don't have any extra stuff with me. So, with that said, now what we need to do, now that we have our amazing custom mount, I don't know what you call it, custom supports or whatever, custom tie downs, I don't know if that's a better word for it. What we need to do now is we need to figure out where we're going to need to drill 2 holes for this. Now this is probably going to be the most tedious and frustrating part because normally underneath the spoiler there's already mounts here and you would just drill, you just figure out the center and then drill in there. But I didn't want to do that. I want to do this the expert, I want to do it the wide wing cool way, but that's just my style of preference. So anywho, we need to figure out the line of where to drill the holes, and then we can figure out forward and back. So I went ahead and I tried to figure out the middle length, and how you do that is you basically just measure. I'm measuring from here since these are kind of wobbly because these haven't been screwed down all the way. So I'm going to start it from here and measure it all the way to this side, or like going up and down. I think this should technically just be the same width the whole way. Now it says 51 inches in the text, but that's including this edge that's not right here. So this is 50 and a half. So you take 50 and a half, divide it by 2, and you get 24 and 1/4. So this line right here is basically that 25 and 1, or no, not 25. Make sure it's fit. Alright, so far so good. I'm still recording, right? Yep, so far so good.
Here